Today I'll be showing you one of my favorite cards. This one was inspired by a card that was given to me last year over the holidays. And when I opened up this card, I thought, wow, what a wonderful piece of artwork. And so naturally, I had to recreate it. So today I'll be showing you how to make a watercolor wreath using one color, where I will show you how to change the value of that color to create depth within the wreath. I'll also be using gold foil, and then we'll finish it off with a finely crafted wax seal. If you're new to my channel, my name is Christine, and I love to scrapbook, create cards, and journal. If you like content like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button below. Click the notifications bell so you won't miss any of my projects. So let's dive in and let's get crafting. So for this card, I used a 3.5 by 5 inch card. And the image I will paint on this Canson mixed media paper, which I like for watercolor. It's quite thick, so it can handle the liquid. And then this is my all-time favorite, the Lawn Fawn stitched square frames. I'll be using the small one for this card. And I'll just cut out a piece of the Canson and then run it through the die cutter. This is this Marte watercolor. Today I'll be using the number 2 round brush. You'll notice in some of my cards, I've actually made smaller leaves, and I used this 0.5 round to make the smaller leaves, which is fine, but you'll notice that if you were to mass produce these cards, I think the smaller brush would be way too time consuming. Now from this palette, I'll be using predominantly the forest green, and then maybe add touches of mustard to add a little bit more color to the wreath. But right now what I'll do is I will show you the technique on how to produce these leaves on the wreath, and I'll show you with the number 2 brush, and then as well with the number 0.5 brush. Now to produce these leaves, you want to start by just gently placing the tip on the paper, adding a bit of pressure, and then lifting off to get that fine tip at the end of the leaf. You're actually making these half ovals and then connecting them to each other and then painting inside the oval. Now you definitely get a lot more control and detail when you use the smaller brush. But you'll notice that when I do use the number 2 brush on this card, it's perfectly fine. Even though the wreath is considerably small, I found the number 2 brush sufficient. And I like to mass produce my Christmas cards, so I think that number 2 brush is definitely a lot better if you wanted to do that. You'll see the value changes once you paint one leaf and then you follow it up by painting another leaf without re-dipping the paintbrush. And that's the key here to producing the changing in values of the leaves. Now what we're going to do so that we know how far to extend the leaves and to get that beautiful wreath design. I used my circle dies here. I don't have a protractor, so this is a really good hack. I just use the circle dies to give me perfect circles on this card. And then I lightly outlined where I will be placing the wreath on the card. And I just wanted to make sure that I don't go beyond where the ribbon is supposed to be. So you can see here, I did not re-dip my brush. I just keep going around, and you'll see the paint lighten with every leaf I put down. And if your brush isn't too saturated, you can layer leaf upon leaf without worrying about bleeding or anything like that. Now I'm just going to add some of the mustard. I'll mix a little bit of the mustard color with the green, just to add a little bit more interest to the card and depth. I just used the gray for the ribbon. Now what you want to do is figure out where you want to put or extend that ribbon on the card. We will be popping the image off of the card, so this is a good way to figure that out. And it's not a big deal if you draw the ribbon too long. You can always just cover that up. I like this stamp set. This is my favorite things to trim the tree stamp set, and I just used one of these sentiments on there. And I'll be using the Versamark to stamp the image. And this is one of my go-tos, is the Recollections Champagne Embossing Powder. It's not a gold, which I find sometimes the gold can be too gold. I like more of a subtle shimmer. And that's why I will typically use the champagne in a lot of my cards, actually. Now to gold foil these cute little pears, I used the Sookwang double-sided adhesive tape. I punch through those. I punch a few of those on and then place them on. And what you'd like to do is either use an embossing stylus tool or your nail to remove the backing. And then I'm using the Mona Lisa gold foil here. And the key to making sure that you get these finely defined pears is you really have to burnish it on with a brush. but be careful not to push too hard on the sides of the pears, or else you will actually damage the shape of the pears. And you'll notice I use this stamp set a lot in all of my envelopes. As always, if you've seen some of my cards, I love to decorate the envelopes as well. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give me a thumbs down too, that's okay. But if you really enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for more of these amazing creations. Okay, another go-to is this Uchi's Design Stamp Punch. I'll link all of the things that I've used in the description box below. If you're wondering how I got this wax seal so perfectly round with no bubbles, I have the perfect hack that I finally figured out. And if you click on the link above, that will take you to the video that will show you how to make these perfectly rounded wax seals. I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye.